Welcome to Fusion 360 for woodworkers. In the last episode we did this very basic table, and today we're going to give it some joinery and a skirt. So we're going to start by doing a new sketch. So I'll click create sketch and I'll select one of these table faces. Now, to be able to use the already drawn out faces, we can use the project menu. So I'll hit P on the keyboard. So I can actually select these faces and hit OK. And as you can see, we now have these dots right here, so we can use those for our sketch. So I'm gonna hit R on the keyboard and I'll go over to this one, click and drag all the way over to this dot, and then I can define the thickness by saying it's gonna be 50 millimeters. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. Now that was basically it for this sketch. As you can see, we are ready to extrude it. So I'm going to hit E on the keyboard and it's going to jump right out of the sketch menu, and I can select this. I don't want the skirt flush with the side of the table, so I can come over to the extrude menu. Now for start, I'm going to select that and I'm going to select offset. And I want to offset this with 5 millimeters. And I'm doing -5 since the arrow is pointing in this direction. I want it to go the other direction. Now for the distance, I'm going to go 20 millimeters. And as you can see, it's still going in the wrong direction, so I have to write -20. I don't want this to join the table, so I'm going to click here and select new body. And then I can hit OK. Now, as you can see, we've created a skirt that's a bit offset from the edge and is 20 millimeters thick. Now we're going to create more of these later on by using a mirror command. But for now, I want to create the joinery as well. So if I come over here, I can see all of the bodies that we've created. So if I click one of them, it's going to turn blue like this. So I can actually click the eye to hide them. And I want to do that because the next thing I want to do is create a new sketch from this face. So I'll actually go ahead and hide everything else as well. So I can create new sketch again, and then I'll select this face. And then I can zoom way in. So I want 2 dowels in this skirt. So to do that, I'm going to use the line tool. So I'll hit the L on the keyboard or go up here to select the line tool. Now in the sketch palette, we can actually see that there is a line type configurator, and I want to hit the construction line or X on the keyboard. And what I want to do is separate the dowels apart from each other. So if I hover over this piece, you can see that it snaps onto the center. So I'm going to click and drag all the way to the bottom. Now I have a construction line. If I come to the center of this, it's going to snap on there as well. So I'll go ahead and click and drag upwards, and I'll do the same downwards. And now it's going to snap onto the center here and the center here. So if I go up here and select the circle tool, now I have to deactivate the construction line. It'll snap on to here, and I can click and drag, and my dowels are 8 millimeters. So I'll just hit 8 and enter. And I'll go ahead and repeat that down here where it snaps in place, 8 millimeters. So now I can extrude these 2 holes to create the holes for my dowels. So I'm going to hit E on the keyboard and I'll select my circles, and I want these to go both ways. So I can come over to the extrude menu, and in direction I can select symmetric. And my dowels are 40 millimeters long, so I'll just write 20 because these are going both ways. Now, as you can see, they've turned red, and that's because Fusion will sense that this is doing a cut, and you can also see which objects you're cutting. But I want to be able to cut all the way through the leg as well, so I can come over to the bodies menu, and I can activate that leg. And as you can see now, it's going to cut a hole in both the skirt and the leg. So I can hit OK. Now if I deactivate the leg again, you can see that we've created holes for the dowels in this skirt. I want to do those holes on the other side of the skirt as well, so I'll go ahead and reactivate my sketch like that, and then I'll do the exact same thing. I'll hit E on the keyboard and I'll select my circles. Now I don't want to start here right now because I want to do the holes on the other side of the skirt. So what I'll do is I'll orbit around, and instead of start profile plane, I'm going to start on an object, and I'm going to start right there. And for the distance, I'll do the same. It's going to be symmetric, 20 millimeters. And I want to activate the leg that is being cut as well. And now it says objects to cut both the skirt and the leg, and I can hit OK. So now we have one skirt with all the dowel holes. So I can go ahead and reactivate all of the pieces. And now I want to mirror this skirt into all the other sides of the table. And to do that, we need to create construction faces. And we can do that in this menu right here. So if I click that, we have a lot of ways of creating construction planes, but I like to use the mid plane. So I'm going to create a mid plane between this face and this face. And you can see this yellow construction plane here. So I'll hit OK. And we can actually click and drag this construction plane to make it more visible. So that's the exact middle of the table. So now if I come over to the create menu, I can come down to the mirror command. If I click on the three dots, I can say pin to toolbar, because that's one thing I'll be using often. So I can click the mirror command. The object that I want to mirror is this, and the mirror plane is the newly created construction plane. And as you can see, it's going to show us a preview of what it's going to look like. And it's going to create a new body, so we'll hit OK. Now I can go ahead in the browser to hide that construction plane. And as you can see, we now have two skirts. But now we want to mirror this piece to the side as well. And we can do the same thing actually by creating a mid plane. But right now we want to select this and this. And as you can see, it's creating a mid plane between those in a 45-degree angle. So hit OK, select mirror, select the skirt, select the mirror plane, hit OK. And then we can just repeat that same thing for the other way around. So I'll click here, here. We'll go ahead and hide the first construction line. Then we'll mirror this. And we'll select this plane and we'll hit OK. So now if I want to take those holes and do them on all the leg pieces, I can actually go ahead and deactivate the leg, and I can hit E on the keyboard and I can select those holes. And they are selected at the bottom of the dowel hole. So if I go 40 from here and reactivate the leg that is hidden and select cut, it's going to cut all the way through that leg as well, and I can hit OK. So now if I deactivate the skirt, there's going to be a hole there as well. So that's it. Now we've added skirts and joinery to this table. In the next episode, we'll do a completely new table that looks nothing like this. See you then.